So today we had to spend the day gathering material. We had to go to all the usual sources, and we wound up meeting some bikers down at the BMW place and at Cycle Gear, and we had to stop at Lowe's. Here's the problem: we have several projects sitting on the bench right now. We want to start them, but I needed material, and I needed several things. I needed a sheet of aluminum. I needed blue tape. I'm out of blue tape. I needed acetone. And every once in a while, you just have to put life on hold and do a shopping day. Now, because I had a big eye exam today, and it was going to ruin the whole day because I had to be down there for half of the day, I figured today would be a good day to do all this shopping and get prepped up for one of our big projects that we're going to start tomorrow. So today's a little bit different, but every day is different. I had to go early this morning for my annual eye exam, and they told me my cataracts are getting worse and worse and worse, and I should be thinking about cataract surgery. And I tried to explain to the doctor, you can't do cataract surgery during the riding season. You got to do it at the end, before Christmas, so you don't lose riding time. He didn't get it at all. So it's funny, I have these eye drops in my eyes, and everything I'm walking around, and on the way home, I'm wearing my sunglasses and I can't even see it. It's so bright. Anyway, I thought, wow, this will be a good day to do something that I've been putting off for a long time. I need to go buy material. Let me show what I would need to do. And I also want to go down a Cycle Gear. I have another idea. I'm going to share these ideas now. They're not all going to play out, but these are things still on my bucket list before the real riding season gets here. A couple little, I call them small details. Now, because I was out riding yesterday, I got to do some photo shoots out in the bright sun, other than in the backyard here, and I noticed a couple things that I still need to address on this bike. I've done a lot of polishing on the whole exhaust system, but I want to stop at Harbor Freight too and get some new buffing tools, and they always have a good selection there. Now, one of the small details, I looked at this when we first did the scoops, and John did me and thank you, John Pothier. He did a Photoshop job where these scoops were black. They were flat black, shiny black. We did this inside in silver. I didn't like either way, but I thought of something. I'm going to go see if I can get some silver screening that's silver. And if I can put, now see, these things have bolts on them. I don't like seeing the bolts. Small detail. Nobody is going to notice this except I am. But if I can make a way of getting rid of the bolts by putting a piece of screening in here, see, those bolts don't come off with this scoop. So a small detail that probably will cost me about 50 cents if I can find the right screening I want. And that's going to be a nice little, I call it a detail project. Everything from this point on is small details. And I have this whole bucket of polishing tools and buffing tools, but you know what? I need a few new ones. They're being worn down to a nub, so I'm going to try to make this a shopping day. There's another small item. If you look at the bottom of this tank right here, when I look at on a photo, this piece I'd like to cover it up somehow with a piece of carbon fiber, a piece of rubber, I'm not sure what. And I still would like to come up with some kind of little, and I don't know, I'm going to buy some material at Lowe's today, something to cover this up. This to me, now as I look at the bike, that has the look of a part that I would like to see more finished looking. But again, it's just me. Subjective stuff. And I always thought when I did these side covers, these carbon fiber pieces, and I made this piece from solid carbon fiber and did all the fitting and everything. But you know what? It was a lot of work. But boy, I thought it totally changed the look of the bike. In fact, when this bike has been around other people that have similar bikes and we parked them together, this bike doesn't even look like the same bike. And every one of these bikes is just loaded with small little details. I enjoy doing them. And especially now that we're kind of coming up on the season, maybe a month from now, I want to round this out and get all the little things that I still want to do, get them in the back and behind me instead of in front of me. And we still need to do a refresh, repolish the GS engine for the summer riding season, and whatever's coming up. We don't know what's coming up weather-wise, but we'll pick a day that we obviously can't ride, and I'll have my new buffing tools, and we'll
make another video of that. And by the way, that's one of maybe the most, has the most hits of any video that I have on 2500. And I always save it for a rainy day doing my engine polishing and stuff, but we'll put some more of that on a future video. So right now we've reached a nice watershed. There's still a lot of little things I want to do, but none of them are going to stop me from riding a bike. And I got a nice ride yesterday. I got to see the bike from a lot of different angles that you don't really see, and a lot of different backgrounds. And I'm always interested in working on my photography skills and making them better, and my video skills. But I think it's time to have another cup of coffee and head out on the road to Lowe's, to start with at Lowe's. And maybe along the way I can figure out some other little things I need. I usually do what I do at Lowe's. I just walk up and down the aisles. I've got a list with a bunch of items on it. But I always like to take a dedicated day so I'm not rushed. Today's that day. And once I get some materials that I need, I'll know how to plan out the next step on this ongoing project. Now I'm very lucky to live close to a Home Depot, a Lowe's, and a pizza shop. Everything is really close when you live in Rutherford. Here's a real sign. Spring is in the air. The riding season is coming up soon. Here's some useful information if you're buying blue tape. It comes in various stickinesses. So if you're buying some tape and they advertise it as having sharp lines, I'm guessing it's stickier. Yeah, here's one that says sharp lines. That's going to be stickier than the traditional one. So what I always do is I always look for the one that says original. I know the original is a good compromise between being sticky and getting a nice paint line. And remember the old adage, as tape gets colder, it gets stickier. You warm it, it gets less sticky. So it's always good just not to come to the store like Lowe's and just buy the first roll of tape or buy the one that's on sale, unless you want to pull paint up. Now I'll be honest, I never tried this, but that's probably worth trying. Delicate removal. And there's something I'm almost out of, JB Weld. Again, I don't like the 5-minute JB Weld. I like this stuff that takes 45 minutes to set up. And we've had good luck with the clear weld, so both of them are good. Another thing we go through a lot of in the shop is acetone. Never have too much acetone. I thought gas was getting expensive. Acetone's $23 a gallon now. And to be honest, I always enjoy looking at the tools in any store I go to. Now here's something I need for, you can use these to cover they're like frame covers, and you never find the right one. So if you have a measurement, here they come in American sizes. They don't come in metric though. But these are good for covering up. I've used a bunch of them. I bought a bunch of them off the internet. But the ones they don't have, they usually have them at Lowe's. I'll get a couple extras today. And those little Zeus fitting things that they used to be, you'd buy them at Motorcycle Mall. They would charge you $3 a piece. They have them at Lowe's. And here's some good choices of material when you're looking to make some custom parts. Right now I'm looking for some thin aluminum. So making that little piece under the gas tank. Now I only need a thin piece, so one thin piece. I don't want to buy more than I need. There's smaller pieces up here. We'll find some. I gotta have some material to make that part. And I could usually get everything I need in one trip to Lowe's. That's the whole idea. Now they got an awful lot of different screening and wiring, but I'm not sure they have anything in the right quantity that's going to work for me. I'm not sure. Now when you get to the Dremel aisle, these are really pricey compared to the stuff I use, but the stuff I use this is definitely better quality, but it's about 5 times the price. Those little grinders and things. Now here's a good example, $3.98. A lot of people don't know this. $3.98, and I got, now mine are not as good a quality for Amazon. I got a bag of 100, I think for $9. And so I finally found where the screening is, and it looks like most or all of the screening is black, so that's not going to work. I don't know. I wanted to find silver screening. This is all plastic. So thanks to the helpful people at Lowe's, I did find some aluminum screening. And that pretty much is what I was hoping I'd find. So it looks like I'm done with Lowe's. We're done for the day. I even got something I wasn't expecting. This, I wanted to make a thing for the radar detector. And this looks like it might exactly be what'll work. So, you're never done at Lowe's. You never finish. So, a Harbor Freight, a BMW dealer, and a cycle gear in one little mall. So I'm looking for some alternative to what I have with the Jiffy bag, smaller. I've already got some ideas. Always good to look for more ideas. Ideas are always worth money. So I got even more ideas, but it's time to go to Harbor Freight. Now if I ever inherit any money, or maybe Jose will put me in his will, I'll come here and shop for some BMW. But see, here we are. And there's Harbor Freight. Now, what can be more fun than a trip to Harbor Freight when you have a credit card? That was a long time before they restocked their supply of gloves. Now they're a third the price they used to be. Back to where you can buy gloves. And I like the 7mm ones. I bought some cheap ones during the pandemic. These are way better. Now, we're going to get a new spray gun so we can do a demo on one of our future videos of unboxing a new spray gun. There's the one we want. $14. So between all the shopping today, I got everything on my list. I've got enough for the next 3 or 4 projects here, and some spray guns to do the demos on. A really good shopping day. It looks like somebody's buying a BMW here. Very cool. Spring is in the air. The bikes are out. I'm the only one still working. Time to get back to the ranch. And speaking of good videos, there's a video on YouTube now about a guy that was getting chased by a helicopter at night in Philadelphia. And the funny thing, he was hiding under a bridge. I have to admit, that was an entertaining video, but you know, to be honest, Luciano and I have never been chased by a helicopter. Guess we don't go fast enough. So we get home and it's a bed and breakfast. There's all cars in the driveway and we got to cook for more people. It was a great day. I'm glad I got all this material. I'm ready. So with all the material in-house, this should probably give us enough material now to finish up the loose ends that are on the MT-09. This is the biggest one I was able to find in Lowe's. And I looked at the bags in those little mini bags and I thought maybe I could get the radar detector, all the guts in here. Get the radar detector on top and put the Jiffy bag thing on the bottom. I don't know, but for $12 I'll take a chance. I got 2 of these. I know these are going to be good. I want to do a demo right from an unboxing. And I was able to find, you got to dig around for it because all the screening is plastic. Got some nice shiny aluminum screening. And this biggest tip of all, and I found this out the hard way, I bought a bunch of gloves for about 20 bucks a box off the internet. And I threw them away. They were garbage. They were like made of, well, I say toilet paper. Maybe they were toilet paper. But the Harbor Freight ones, the 7mm ones, usually work good for me in the conditions I work under here. I also always pick these up. They're always out of stock on them. And of course, we're going to be doing a lot of buffing on parts. I got an extra spray gun, and the main thing, I got the piece of aluminum I needed. I wanted to have that real nice, clean piece of aluminum to do that little piece under the seat. All future projects coming soon. Now, it may be optimistic of me, but I was thinking what I wanted to do is downsize this, get this on top, and downsize some of the things I have in there. Just have a smaller box, a smaller piece of equipment on a motorcycle. I am going to have to make a base because the bottom of the bag, the Jiffy bottom, is wider than this, but I do have a piece of nice aluminum for that. So I'm excited about this. This is a rainy day project. Next time I get a time to do that, and that I think, see, the good news is if this doesn't work out, I just put it back on the bag that I had it. But it would be nice to get this downsized, if at all possible. I know there's wiring, and I'd have to put the screamer on there too. I think it's just big enough. But it was only $12, and what I'll do is I'll save the receipt. If I don't use it, I don't drill it or ruin it or something, I'll just bring it back with the tags on it. Like when women buy a dress and they wear it to a wedding and then they bring it back. Same thing. And I've restocked all my inventory on tape now, even the electrical tape. And you know, every time I do something and I run out of tape, why didn't I buy an extra roll? More projects on the project table, and that's the next best thing to find in the Fountain of Youth. Not so sure about this, but for $12, I'd give it a shot. I looked at the one in Cycle Gear, the little mini bag that Built makes. It's just too big. And I'm really trying to make that smaller, but I do have an idea of how to do it. I guess we're going to find out. Now, I thought I'd pass on some other information, so since that's what we're doing. I pulled this off the old muffler. And one of the fellas, I don't remember his name, he had a name, and I'll put this on the question and answer. He told me this was very foolish. I should have drilled a hole in there and with a drill and saved this emblem. That people collect these. Well, I didn't know they collect them. I don't collect them, so I didn't know that. So, but if anybody else has one of these, we try to pass on that information. Apparently, these are collector items, or people with the old bikes like to renew them or whatever, but I don't know. But anyway, I'm sorry I did that, and that was a good tip. I pass it on to everybody. Save your old emblems. Somebody might want them. So the only piece I don't have material for today, even with a good shopping day, I need to get, I call it combing. It looks like a U-shaped rubber. They use it around open cockpits of planes. I was hoping I'd find some today. Did not find them. I'm going to have to figure out if I have any, or if there's a source I can get that inexpensively. But the whole idea was today, get all the material ready for the next day that we're going to be able to work on projects. But no, actually, I didn't realize this, and this is one of the old Ferrari helmets. This is what I need, is this cockpit combing. So maybe tomorrow or next day I work on this, I'll get the heat gun. I'll bring that down to cellar, see if I can get some of that to come off, since I don't use that helmet anymore. And that's exactly what I need right there. So you never know where you're going to find things. Now, I had a little time before this day ends, and this is the old Ferrari helmet, of course. And I thought, well, I could see if I can use this combing, and if not, then I'm going to go check on the internet tonight, see if I can buy some, because that's one thing I want to use as one of the projects, the back of the tank. Just figured I'd clean this up. I didn't want to throw it away because there's so many good look at, you see how ratty it is inside. This is a track day helmet that was used for a lot of sweat in there. Ugh. I'll never put that on my head again. But anyway, we had so much fun with this, and I used to convince people at Motorcycle Mall and at the place like we were today, new riders, I'd say, oh yeah, that's a Ferrari helmet. You should buy a Ferrari helmet. And then they'd see the bike. Oh, he's got a Ferrari bike. And then I think ultimately they knew I was scamming them and having fun with them. But anyway, Luciano even did it to people that when he was buying gas one day, he had the bike in the back of his truck and he was talking Italian, and he told the guy that asked him, he says, oh, you gotta be Italian before they sell you one of these. So I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna try to heat gun this off. Always remember the trick with glue. Heat is your friend. Let's see if it's a friendly day for the glue here. If we can get some of this off anyway. I have other helmets too. I could take this off. Nah, it doesn't look like that wants to come off that easily. I don't know. Now the second choice, of course, is going to be, and we're going to see, I never fail to try to show, this is such a handy little thing. When you're going to dump screws or parts or whatever, you may have a piece of rubber that's appropriate for that. It's got a little lip on it or something. And that's why I never throw these little pieces away. Hang on to every one of them. And some of them actually, we may even get one that's reasonably close. I don't know. But this little gizmo from Harbor Freight actually is really, really handy. So the real problem with pulling that combing off of old helmets is it comes off in pieces. And I couldn't get a big enough piece that it was worth it. But again, this is the whole thing in a nutshell. If I don't have anything, then I've got to go to the next step. And right now, I'm not sure what that is. I've got parts cabinets full of parts. Maybe I can find something. But I always work my way down the priority list, and it doesn't look like we have. I think we're gonna have to abandon ship here on this. But I did want to have a piece of like flat black rubber if that was possible. And maybe it's not possible. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Anyway, this is really a good tip, having one of these things. When you have a lot of nuts and bolts, saves you a lot of time. And it's about $2 in Harbor Freight. Well, I looked through all my cabinets and really didn't find anything that really was appropriate. Oh, we may have to go to the nuclear option of looking on the internet. Before I head out to the internet and looking for combing, there's these thin rubber parts around brake hoses, and I've got a ton of them. So this will be a no-brainer. See if I got a clean one. This one looks like it'd be long enough for the whole thing. They have this in its nice soft rubber. Maybe I can use one of these. I can razor it off, actually, because I'm going to use a razor anyway. So let's just see. We're definitely not going to use these anymore. So it's always nice if you have something in stock. Save that trip to the internet. Oh yeah. Maybe a little bit of glue. Maybe. I don't know. But we had these in stock, so what's the worst that can happen? So it looks like we ran into a dead end here. I didn't care for the way that looked, so I'm going to save this for a future project. Maybe make a piece of carbon fiber for that. I don't know. See, I just don't like, and it's the thing of all motorcycle designs. They leave pieces out. Now I understand this is an inexpensive bike, but I don't want to see this. I would like to have something go on in there, and I don't know what yet. But I know this. I slit the tube. I had these in stock. Didn't cost me a penny. The right thing to put on there is called cockpit combing. I'll look it up on the internet, and that'll be unless some other brilliant idea comes up. I guess we'll live to fight another day. Actually, what I thought I'd do is, until I make something permanent, just put a piece of black tape on that. I think it looks better. Now, it's all these little details, all in the eye of the beholder. This is one of our biggies. I don't want to see those screws. I have to figure some way, and that's going to be, that's why I bought the material today. That is to me a small detail. Now, I had even thought of making a piece for the seat that would go around here and kind of cover it up. I don't know, maybe that's in the cards still. But one of the beautiful parts about this bike is the way it makes the bike feel very narrow. So you can't build something up out here. That's why I had to when I made those side covers, I had to make them fit in. I couldn't make them bulge out. Or if I could, I would have made these on the outside that you couldn't see the tube, but then they would be interfering with your leg. And that's a critical thing. One of the things about this bike, there's a lot of things about the MT-09. And for bigger people, smaller people, doesn't matter. But for me, this just fits me to a T. And this little detail, we'll just leave tape on there for now. I'm not going to lose any sleep on that. Because this day played out so well, and I can't wait to see if I have some material to work on that Valentine radar detector, that whole thing. I don't know if it's going to play out, but if it doesn't, I have an alternative plan. Because what I did, I found something in Lowe's today. It's a car jack. A little hydraulic jack was $26, and the box that it comes in was a hard plastic box that looks like it'll be exactly the right shape. I could bring the other one back that cost me $12, buy that one, and give Luciano the jack for Christmas. But always option 1, option 2, option 3, and work your way down until you find something that works. It's a hard thing to explain to people, but it works for me. Now, this is something I do all the time. I just want to see what it would look like if you didn't see those bolts. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to get exactly what I want there, but, well, we're going to give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, but I don't want to compromise that narrowness of the bike there. That is such a nice feature of this bike. And I have had bikes, and I still have bikes, that have a wider seat. You always feel like you're riding a 50-gallon drum. This bike, not so much. And to be sure, everything you do to a motorcycle, every modification, even if you buy parts and just bolt them on, everything, you don't really know if you're going to like it until you try it. And in the case of this bike, it's an ongoing thing. And I'm doing it piece by piece. And some of the things like today, well, didn't work out the way I wanted to, but I had option 2, option 3, or you just give up. So again, now that I have that silver screen, I may be able to make a way, I don't know yet, of eliminating looking at those bolts another small detail, but every part of this whole thing is a lot of small details. But then when you're done, you take a picture of the bike the day I bought it and a picture of it now. It's a different bike. All small details, and one thing's for sure, they all add up. So pretty much like every job we do in the shop, any of these custom parts, they start with a Cheerios box. Low budget. Recycle those Cheerios boxes. We need a piece of material, so what I need to do is make a pattern of how big I need it, and then go to my inventory box and see if I have anything I can use. So anybody's never seen how this jivvy thing operates. It's actually pretty cool the way it works. All those little things go in and out as you squeeze it, and it releases the bag. Well, we want to use this part. I want to use this base part as the base of the part I'm making. So I need to cut a piece of material. I want to have it as long, as wide as this anyway. I need to make that up and a couple inches longer, so I can. I need to be able to mount the screamer on there too. So the first thing, of course, Cheerios time. So whenever I'm designing up a part that I don't even know what it's going to look like when I'm done, I always like to start with cutting out cardboard patterns, templates, and trying as the part evolves, I'd rather be throwing away Cheerios box scraps than pieces of aluminum or steel or whatever. And so measuring out this base plate, and I needed to have it that it covers the base plate, or I'm not going to have a realistic way to attach it. Now, if I make it a little bit too big, I can always trim it down, reshape it, cut the corners off, put angles on it. But I've got to start with something that's a little bit bigger than what I need, and then work my way down little by little by little. So now I know this is the size of the material I need. Now, if I don't have anything, I can make this out of aluminum, out of carbon fiber. I actually could make it out of any material. This is just going to be a base to attach the jivvy to, and then I'm going to attach that box that I bought, or the bigger box from the jack, whichever one works. And I don't know until I start taking this apart. That'll be a full day, rainy day project to do all the wiring and everything. But what I'll do is get the material ready for this. Then I can always trim the corners, trim the edge, trim around anything. And what I did find out with the Valentine, even when I had the carbon fiber windshield on the FZR, the radar detector worked fine. So if this gets behind in theory, this should be up, so a straight view ahead of you. But in reality, that Valentine is so good, it picks up the radar detect the signal, even if you're behind a windshield. And let's face it, in a car, you're behind the glass. So, all right, so I know how big of a piece of material I need. This is too thin. That's too thin also. I need thicker material. Out of here. Now, it may be that I have to make a piece of carbon fiber. Windshield piece, face shield. Ooh, carbon fiber. Ooh. Now, this is funny, I made this box years ago as a cameraman. I remember making this. And, well, I am a junk saver, there's no doubt about it. But I was hoping I'd have a piece of material. But if I don't, it's going to be pretty simple. I'll make a piece. Or I may have a piece of aluminum that I can use. Yeah, I don't have any. I was hoping I'd have a piece. I may have a piece of aluminum this big. I gotta go find it. So how lucky can you be? I found this piece of material. I was using it to do spray gun thing. In fact, it's a danger sign. It's got 2 holes in it, but that's not going to be a problem. I'll show why. Because our pattern, and this is oversized, we could put the holes right in the middle. And what will happen is, when I mount this or something bigger, it'll cover the holes up. You won't see the holes. So this is going to be, I got a feeling this is going to work out really well. So the first thing is, I've got to get rid of some of the bad finish that's on here. Let me mark this off, measure it off with blue tape how much I need, and clean this up. Even more of a reason, and thank you, Mark. Years later, we're going to use it. So cutting this piece of aluminum after I traced out the template on it using the jigsaw. Always a blade with fine teeth is the easiest way to do it that I know of. and making sure I leave that the part itself is a little bit bigger than I would like it to be when I'm totally done with it. Always leave it a little bigger, trim it off on the belt sander, and then what I try to do is get some of the paint off with the wire wheel, but that was just starting to booger up my wire wheel, so I use paint remover. So the deal with the wire wheel was it was just taking too long to take the paint off, and there really is about 100 coats of paint on this. So I figured I'd go right into the nuclear option and put some paint remover on this, get the paint off, because that's basically all I'm going to be able to do today. We're running out of time here, and at least I have all my material set for next couple of projects, and that'll be the end of that. So I'm not a big fan of paint removal myself, but I don't like the mess it makes. But in this case, this was the quick and dirty way to reclaim a piece of aluminum that we've had in the shop for many years. I count it as a friend that's going to be recycled and repurposed. And every time I look at this, I'll remember it. I wanted to clean it up because more than likely I'll be painting it at some point or polishing it. I don't know, but wanted to get all the old finish off. And I put some swirl marks in it just to make it cute, so it would look cute while I was working on it. I'm not sure that serves any useful purpose, but like everything we do, it's just for fun anyway, so. Now this day had a lot of unexpected twists and turns in it, and I didn't know. This I'm real happy about because now I can start that project on the next workshop day that we're going to have, and I think it's going to come out great. Now, I don't know ultimately if I'm going to be able to use that little box or I'm going to have to go buy the one with the jack in it. But it doesn't really matter because it's still less these tank bags. Some of them are over $100. So, and some of them are $250. So, and I don't need that much capacity anymore. And once I get this the way I want it, if there's something I still can't fit in the bag, I'll put it in my pocket. But I think this is going to be a nice little project. And it's one of the final projects on this MT-09. As I go through it and I eliminate these off the list, that little piece of black tape on the tank, detail, small detail. I have the screening now in stock, and I'm actually ready. I really couldn't do a lot of real high detail work today. Those drops they put in your eye when you get an eye exam. In this place that we went today, both Karen and I, it was an hour and a half each to do the exam. So. And I still can't, everything is bright like I'm under spotlights. Anyway, that's going to be, we're all set up for the next day, or next project, and I'm excited that we got this much done today. So we've got our material now on the projects table. We've looked around. I've made a real updated priority list, and I think the next thing on our list, if it works out the way I want, we're going to try to make that Valentine radar detector box. Actually, it'll be probably a good project if anybody has never seen what's involved in setting up a radar detector, or Valentine anyway. And Valentine is the Cadillac of radar detectors, in my opinion. And everybody I know that has a Valentine. Vince and Jose and everybody. And I think Luciano even has one. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy the video. This is the kind of a day we had to spend to prep up, to get ready for our next projects. We do try to post something every day. And most of all, I hope you enjoy watching it every day. And thanks so much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.